All right, all right. Let's see what we got. YouTube. All right, all right. What up? What up? What's good? Hey, what's up, boss lady? Yo, TikTok, give me some likes. I know y'all can hear me on Facebook and YouTube. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Coach Ken, aka the doctor, aka the professor. Look, hey, tonight I got some. I'm not gonna be before you very long, but look, if you're on TikTok, y'all give me some likes because they say that if I get some likes, they will invite more people. Welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook and YouTube. I wonder, y'all. I think, people, I don't get as many people as I used to, probably because I try to come on Tuesday and Thursday nights. That's my goal. But I got so many new clients. It is really tough. All right. Can you hear me now, Tara? Is it me? Is the volume still too low? I might be you. Can y'all hear me? Okay. I want y'all to say, if y'all can hear me, say, yes, coach, we can hear you. If not, let me know. All right. Let me know if you are on all these, I got all my platforms up. So if you can't hear me, let me know. All right. Or just say, yes, I can hear you. Yes, we can. Okay. Look good. On Instagram, yes, you can hear me. Okay. What about TikTok? Yes, you can hear me. Yes. On YouTube, yes, yes, yes. So, Tiara, it might be your equipment that is causing the problem. All right, y'all. So, tonight, I got something good for y'all. So, tonight's conversation won't be long. And what we're going to talk about is the four communication killers, silent killers of relationships. And y'all know that I'm a communications expert. I am. And y'all know that I'm a relationship coach that puts couples together, keep them together. And the ones that shouldn't be together, I help them, go apart. But at the end of the day, y'all know that everything is built or broken based on communication. And most people think they are, well, I won't say most. A lot of people think they're good communicators, but they are not. Most of you listening are not good communicators. And I'm going to teach you tonight. I'm going to give you the four communication killers of relationships. And when we're finished, y'all know that I've been doing free sessions for this month. I've been booked up. Me and Coach Rose. Coach Rose is my lead coach in the academy. We've been booked up all month. And I've been giving people 30-minute free sessions. And y'all, can I be honest? Then we're gonna move on with the show. But a lot of people call me. A lot of people want a free session. But can I be honest here? And I've been giving them out because I honor my word, and I'm saying, listen, if you want a session with me, I can help you solve any problem. I can help dissect what is wrong in 19 minutes or less. That's why I give you 30 minutes. Now, but what I realize, a lot of people get on the call with me. I tell them after I've questioned them, I've gone deep, and I've done it quickly because I'm very good at this. But then they tell me what's wrong. They tell me what's wrong, but they get on a call with me and they tell me what's wrong. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Didn't you book the session with me? And then when I tell them, they don't want to hear what it is I have to say. They don't want to hear it. And because they don't want to hear it, they disregard what I say. Well, don't call me. If you don't want to know, if you were the expert, if you could figure it out on your own, you would not be on a Zoom with me. And so what I will tell you is, I want you to book the 30-minute free session, but don't call me telling me what's wrong. I know how to question. I can dissect what's going on. I can tell you not only what's going on, I can tell you what, not by what you say, but many times by what you don't say. And so if you are interested in changing your situation, but not only just changing, not only diagnosing it, but, but willing to do the work to change. But most people aren't willing to do the work. And so what I want y'all to do on TikTok, give me some likes so they can invite more people. But most people aren't willing to do the work. Now, if you go book a session with me, which is fine, but if you're not willing to do any work, don't book the session. Just don't. I don't have time. My schedule is too tight. But those people who want to change, book it. All right. Before I go on to the lesson tonight is 4 communication killers of a relationship. But if you want to book a 30-minute session, either with me, I can't get them all. My lead coach, Coach Rose, is going to do some of them because she's super good because I trained her, and she came with a whole bunch of skill set, but we refined that. She's my lead coach in my academy. Either me or her are going to do it. But either way, whether you get me or her, she can dissect it too in probably 18 minutes as well. But this is how you do it. You email us at coachkencanion@gmail.com. That's Coach, COACH, Ken, KEN, Canion, CANION @gmail.com, and simply say, hey, Coach, I want to book a free 30-minute session. All right. I want to book a free 30-minute session. That is coachkencanion@gmail.com. All right. Now, for those of you ready to do some work, those of you ready to do some work, let's get busy. So, first off, tell me your name and where you're checking in from. Y'all know I can't do this without acknowledging you first. Tell me your name and where you're checking in from. All right? Name and where you're checking in from. All right. So I can properly welcome you because you could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me tonight. So I want to welcome you. So we got Cookie from Hampton, Virginia in the building. Let me see. All right, let me pull my stuff up. We got Anna from Houston, Texas in the building. Thank you, Anna, for coming. We got Cheryl from North Carolina, Nikki from Dallas, Texas, Tay from Florida in the building, Renata from Atlanta in the building, Tara from Jacksonville, Florida in the building, Monique, one of my favorite students from Baton Rouge in the building, Tamika Hendricks from Lake Jackson, Texas, Adriana from Milwaukee in the building, Erica from Ohio, Tristan from LA in the building, LaDonna from Southfield, Michigan, Katrina from, Katrina from Arizona in the building, Sumoria from, I don't know where she's from, Evelyn from Rhode Island in the building, Teresa from Massachusetts in the building. What's that? Kamani from Orlando, Florida in the building. Dina from New Jersey. Gwen from Titusville, Florida in the building. All right, yo, this is good. We got a few people in the building. Thank you all for coming out tonight. All right. So, Yvette from Washington, D.C., and my guy, Marcus Hood, in the building from Maho's Bistro Food Truck, and his food is good, my guy. All right, so tonight, I want to give y'all something. I want to give y'all something because I had one of my clients recently that came to me, and this client was telling me their relationships had been in a 20-year marriage. And y'all know how sometimes you've been in a relationship so long that you have become familiar with the relationship. And you've been in the relationship so long, you don't do what it is you used to do. All right. And the relationship you feel is dying, or the relationship is dormant, or maybe it's dead. The flame is not burning like it used to burn. I don't know. Does that sound like anybody in here? All right. I want you to put a 1 in the chat if that is you. Okay. And nothing wrong with the relationship not being what it once was. And so tonight, my wife and I, we were talking. We were just talking about rekindling relationships. And the one thing that I told her, she said to me, she's like, honey, how do you rekindle a relationship? Because at one point in our relationship need rekindling because we were headed for divorce court because we did not know how to communicate with each other. At that moment, during that time, during that space and time, was the time that I decided that I would be a relationship coach because I remember what I was feeling. I remember that I felt like I had married the wrong person. I remember that every time I was around her, I irked her and she irked me. I remember what it felt like. And I remembered as we put it back together and as we reconciled our relationship, as we got the tools to communicate better. Because y'all, you know what happens is when you think you're right, you don't think there's any room for growth. When you think that what you're doing is the correct way to do it, you don't think, I don't need help. They need help, but not me. And so my wife and I was talking tonight, and she was like, tell me, how should a person rekindle a relationship? And I said, let me give you an analogy, honey. Think about it like this. I said, a fire. When a fire goes out, when you have an open flame, a fire, a pit, a bonfire, whatever, how do you start the fire back? You start the fire back with kindling, right? You don't start it with the big logs or the big things in relationship. You start it with doing the small things in the relationship. The small things catch hold. And when the small things catch hold, what happens is the flame starts small. So in any relationship, you start with the small things that you can do communication wise, right? And so I said, once the kindling gets lit, honey, I said, then the kindling, the small things transfers its energy. The small kindling transfers its energy to the larger logs, to the logs that are bigger than the kindling, right? And so that energy in a relationship, when you do something small, that energy is transferred. Well, what happens is most of us don't want to do the small things that got us there. They don't want to do the small things because when you light it from the kindling, the flame ain't burning yet. It's not a roaring fire yet. All right? It's sometimes what it does. When you set it with kindling, sometimes the flame goes out, doesn't it? Sometimes it goes out and you got to light it again. That's when you do something and the other person don't notice it. That's when you do something and it didn't take hold. It didn't register. So the energy from that didn't catch another flame. I just start preaching now. I ain't even come over here to preach. I came over here to get something. But look, but what I'm thinking about is, so I'm saying, baby, I said, here's the thing. What happens to people is once they light the flame, right? Once they light the kindling, you gotta blow on it. You gotta blow on it because the oxygen, you gotta breathe oxygen into the fire. See, if you don't breathe oxygen to the fire, what is the breathe? You gotta speak life over your partner. You got to speak life in your relationship. Some of y'all out there, all you doing is saying, this shit ain't gonna work. All you saying is you tell the other person everything that they don't do. You tell them you're not this. You don't spend time with the kids. You don't take out the trash. You don't do this. You ain't got enough money. You don't make enough money. And what happens is you don't breathe any oxygen in the relationship. See, think about the fire and the flame. And see, what the flame does is the flame responds to the oxygen. Think about the fires in LA, y'all. You know why the fires are so devastating? Because the oxygen from the wind. The wind is what carried the flames to other places to burn. And so if you don't if you don't blow oxygen over your relationship, what's going to happen is it ain't going to catch fire. All right. And so here's what I'm going to tell you. And so then tonight, I wanted to give you some things. And one of the things that I want to give you, I want to give you the 4 killers of relationships. And if you want to book a session with me for this month, I don't even know, I might carry it over to February because I'm helping so many people that's talking to me for 30 minutes. And some people decide that, you know what? Coach, I need more of this. And if you realize that you want me to be your coach, then the truth is book the session. And if we decide that we like each other and that you're ready to do the work and you're ready to get a certain result, I can help you get there. But let's start with the 30 minutes. If you're interested in a 30-minute free session, I'm doing the free sessions. I did them all this month, and I might do them for February just because I get to meet so many people. I want you to email us at coachkencanion@gmail.com. You're going to either get me, I'm busy, or my lead coach, Coach Rose, who is fantastic as well. And we're going to help you. We're going to help you for those who won't help. I'll be doing men, women. I'm surprised so many men are reaching out, but I'm happy though. A lot of men are reaching out because, man, y'all, the truth of the matter is men want good relationships too. You know what? They want good relationships too, contrary to popular beliefs. All right, let me give you the 4 things. 4 killers of relationship. Number 1, lack of communication. I'll write these down. Number 1, 4 killers, silent communication killers of relationships. Lack of communication. Lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. I'll say it again. Lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. Now you say, Coach, what do I mean? How many of you wanted to say something? A lot of times you just say it's better off not saying. It's better off not saying because the truth of the matter is, if I say it, then what happens? Going to be an argument. But because you don't know how to say it, you don't say it. And so then you lead the other person to wonder what you're thinking. And whenever it's up to the other person to wonder, to figure out, to contemplate, to ruminate on what you're thinking, they're going to always get it wrong. See, I always tell people lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. Because if you decide not to say it, the other person, what you're relying on is the other person to figure out what it is you have to say. And then it ain't gonna they're never gonna figure it out. We're doing in March, the first week in March. I'm just kind of telling y'all now. I'm doing a 5-day challenge called Beyond the Silence, communicating with the emotionally unavailable. In first week in March, we're doing this challenge. For 5 days, I'm gonna teach y'all. For those of you who want to get taught, it won't be everybody, but those you want to get taught. All right. And if you're in my academy, you get to come for free. So I would advise you to join. Yeah. But anyway, the first silent killer is this: lack of communication always leads to miscommunication. Because y'all listen to me carefully. Because you decide not to say it, what you're doing is you're setting it up to be miscommunication. It always happens. It always happens. Number two, all right. I wrote this down. I wrote this down. The second killer is your job isn't to make a person feel a certain way. How many times do you not say something because of the way the other person feels? Because of the way you think they might feel, because of how you think they're going to react. And what you do is you don't say it. And what I always tell people in communication, I'm teaching an advanced class, and I told them, I said, your job is not to make a person feel a certain way when you communicate. Your job is to communicate it effectively. You see, because the truth is, I could say something a million different ways. And depending on the lens that the person is viewing it from, they may take it a certain way. So that's why I always say, listen, your job is to communicate effectively. And what is communicating effectively? It's three things. It's only three things. It's only three things. This is what I teach. Number one, it cannot be aggressive. It cannot be perceived as aggressive. Okay? Number two, it cannot be perceived as combative. And number three, the other party has to understand exactly what you mean by what you said. Those are the three rules of communication. If you do those things, the truth is, if you communicate effectively, what I tell people is you have done your job. It is not your job to make a person feel good about what you're about to say. It is your job to communicate it effectively. And effective ain't always just saying it. It's not, because most people don't have a clue what to do. Okay. Number three leads me to number three. Saying it doesn't mean you are communicating effectively. There are a lot of people who communicate with masculine energy, who communicate in an aggressive manner. And they say things like this. You just got to I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to be direct about it. I'm just going to give it to them. And then I say this. They say, I ain't got no problem saying it, coach. I said, do you think that's effective? They say, yeah, because I'm going to get it out. And then I say, wow, you think it's effective because you've said that. I said, now, do you communicate the exact same way with every single person? They say, yep, I do. And then I say this. Then I say, you communicate with people based on your communication style. The truth is, you communicate with people based on their communication style. Allow me to give you an example. What I learned was my wife didn't like to, because I'm very, let's get it done now, let's talk to it. All right? That is my style. My wife's style is different, okay? She's more thoughtful about it. She's quieter. She measures her words. And what I realized was I wasn't getting across my message. And then I learned this one thing. I learned this one technique called blending. And what blending simply says is I communicate with people based on the way they are. I get what you said. And that doesn't mean I sugarcoat my message. It simply means that I blend to their style. For instance, my wife is quieter. I would lower my tone. I would slow my pace, but I would still say what it is I wanted to say. Then she was able to receive the message because the message looked like the way she communicated. Now, when I communicate, I still can say what it is I need to say, but I simply say it in a blended manner. April says, blended communication, game changer. Thank you, coach. She said, this truly works. April is one of my students, and she is super duper smart. And I always say, listen, I coach a lot of smart people, y'all. You know what that means? I got to be smarter. I got to be smarter in this area because people don't respect smart. They respect what works. You can be smart and you can be whatever, but if it don't work, it doesn't work. What I'm telling y'all work, but you need some training. You need training. Why is it we get training on our jobs? Why is it we get training to balance a checkbook? Why is it we get training how to drive a car? Why is it we get training for this, and that? And we never get training for relationships. You just expect it to work because you feel a certain way. You just expect it to work, but it don't. It worked till it doesn't. And then you don't know what to do after that. Wow. I'm just saying. Last but not least, and I got to get off. Last but not least, silence is the secret killer of most relationships. Silence is the secret killer of most relationships. And you say, Coach, what do you mean? So what I mean by that is when you get quiet and you say, I'm gonna just let it go. When you get quiet and you say, I ain't gonna say nothing. When you get quiet and you just say, you know what, just forget about it. When you get quiet and you just hold it in. When you get quiet, you just suppress your feelings. When you get quiet and you start repressing the things. When you get quiet and go silent, it is the beginning of the end. It is the beginning of the end of your relationship. The relationship you might not consciously say we're done, but the truth is the relationship is en route to ending. And so what I'm going to tell you is this. These are the 4 killers of your relationship. Now, what you need to do, some of you want to learn how to be better. Some of you want to learn how to communicate better, how to have better relationships, not just romantic relationships. I'm repairing relationships with family, friends, lifetime relationships at work. And y'all, you know that you can't get on your job. You can't grow because you're not communicating well at work. And so for those of you who want to book a session with me or my lead coach, and don't get, somebody said the other day, well, if I can't talk to you, Coach Ken, I don't want no session. And then you know what I said? Then you think what they said was, no disrespect to Coach Rose. And you know what I said? Here's what I said. You can't get no appointment with me now, ever. Because if somebody's trying to help you, she is super smart, super duper smart. You can't work in my academy. You can't be with me without being smart. And I told her, I said, no. I said, from this point forward, you can't book a session with me either. Since you're going to tell us and dictate how we help you. So for those of you who won't help, email me at coachkencanion@gmail.com and say I want a 30-minute session. We'll reach back. You will either get me or me or Coach Rose, and we can help you, y'all. But at the end of the day, and you can't tell me how to help you. Just like I get on a call with people, they tell me what's wrong. I'm saying, well, why are you on the call with me? If you already know, April says, yes, Coach Rose on another level. She's smart. She's smart, y'all. I ain't got to tell you her credentials. Just because she with me, she's smart. All right? That's it. That's my time. I'm done. Appreciate y'all. If you want the free session, reach out. coachkencanion@gmail. Say, I want the free 30-minute session. Coach, thank you. Look, go back and listen to this, y'all, again and again. Send it to somebody you know having problems with relationships, whether it be romantic relationships, whether it be relationships with their mama, their daddy, their sister, their brother, at work. Look, that's what it is. All right? All right, y'all. It's my time. Yep, y'all smart. What's up, Kira? Yep, my people are smart. They smart. That's right. They smart. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out.